Hello everybody, welcome back to another album review. And this one I'm so excited for. We're going to be reviewing Hardy's The Mockingbird and The Crow. Now, this album was such a banger. It came out the end of January, and right now it's early March. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a late album review, but it gives me a lot of time to listen to this album like at least 50 times. And give you the best response of what I think of these songs, because usually, you might get hooked to a song for a little bit, but then all of a sudden you lose interest in it, or it's the other way around. You don't like a song and then you gain interest in it. So that's what we're going to be doing today, just looking at the songs, seeing what I think of them, and giving it an honest review. So the first song that I want to talk about is Beer. Now, this song was such a banger on the album. It pretty much starts out everything, and it's basically Beer talking to somebody. Like, usually it's like some dude praising Beer, saying like how great it is. But this song, the Beer is praising the person, which is kind of cool. So it's kind of like, remember that time when I got you to go out with that girl and like party out? Like, I'm so glad to have you. The Beer's glad to have the person. And yeah, it's really cool and such a banger on the album, honestly. So the next song that we have is called Red. Making that blue collar country boy's neck red. Now, this song is with Morgan Wallen. This is Hardy's fourth song with Morgan Wallen. Now they have 5 songs because Morgan Wallen's album's out. But basically, it's kind of like an anthem, I would say. So basically, Hardy's like, the Book of John is red, lots of stuff red, brick walls, all this kind of stuff that's red, and then he ends up by saying, like, this flag that's blue and white and red, which is so awesome to hear. Like, honestly, like, I don't know how he does it. He's a writer on every single song on this album. Not the sole writer. There's one song where he's the sole writer, but it's honestly so cool. Next, we have Wait in the Truck. Drive looked in those eyes and asked her where he was. So, if you haven't heard this song yet, which I'd be surprised if you haven't, it's with Lainey Wilson. And basically, it's a kind of like a ballad, I guess you could say, a murder ballad. So a guy finds a girl on the street and she is covered up in bruises, and the guy says, get the truck, where's this dude who's been hurting you? And he goes and shoots him. And it's really cool. He says stuff like, saying like a gun is a judge, which I think there's a deeper reference to that. I know that I saw an interview with Hardy talking about that and saying he didn't come up with that line, someone else did, but it has a deeper meaning to it. Comment down below if you know what a judge is, like not like the judge in court, but a different judge, because this is honestly one of the coolest songs on the whole album, and I would say a lot of people think that. The next one is Drink One For Me. So boys, when you drink one for me. So if you haven't heard Hardy's last album, Rock, you might not really get the connection to the song. But basically, I kind of see it as a response to Give Heaven Some Hell. If you don't know that song, basically, he's talking to his friend up in heaven, and he's saying, all the good times that we had, I hope you're still having it. So, give heaven some hell. But this song is kind of like the reverse. He's up in heaven, and he's telling the people down on earth, hey, I can't have any beer, so might as well drink one for me. It's a really simple song, and I love it. The next one is the only love song on the album, I in Country. Now, this song is very simple. It's basically Hardy just going, gosh. He's basically saying a whole bunch of country stuff, that he couldn't, have country without this girl, which is kind of cool. Next, we have Scream. Now, this is probably one of my favorite songs on the countryside. Basically, Hardy is making I would say a statement with the song, saying like there has been so much screens in our lives, and all he wants is to be behind a back porch screen, which is kind of cool. My favorite line in the song is when he goes, "Every battery does, but your memory will never die," which is so cool because it's so true. Like, a battery will die. It always does. Even your phone battery, your car battery, everything, it dies eventually. But your memory, really, it just dies with you. And it's so cool. I love it. It's one of my favorite songs in the album. I know that he performed it on one of his interviews that he did, and it sounds like it'd be really cool to see live. Anyways, next one is the only solo right on the album, Happy. So this song is kind of like talking about an emotion, the happy emotion. So he's like saying like happy lives all around the world, beside every boy and girl, but I don't know where you've been, my old friend, but I wish everyone could be happy, because not everybody is happy. That's kind of like the point of the song, and it's basically him saying, I wish everybody could be you. And it's so cool. I like that song too. Next song is probably one of the country songs on the album, Here Lies Country Music, which is kind of like another statement song, I would say. 'Cause you can't cheat on the radio, be proud of where you're from. Basically saying, well, I don't even know if I'd call this a statement. So if you guys know Murder on Music Row by George Strait and Alan Jackson, they're talking about how country isn't the same as what country was. This song kind of goes with that, but at the end it gives a twist saying, like, country is coming back. It's coming back around, which is kind of cool. Next, The Mockingbird and the Crow. Like Friday nights and headlights on some back road rent. So let's talk about the first half of the song. By the way, it has a music video with it, which is really cool. But basically, the Mockingbird half is basically Hardy saying, like, he's written songs for so many people in Nashville, and that's basically been his life. He writes songs that he might have heard, like a mockingbird. He mocks other songs, which is really cool. I love that kind of like wordplay on that. He also says like he's from Mississippi. The mockingbird is the state bird of Mississippi, which is really cool. I love how he makes all these connections with a mockingbird. And then he kind of transitions a little. With a microphone. Now, I love this transition because it's like, you know it has to be coming because it's the mockingbird and, all caps, the crow. So, you know there has to be a transition coming. And he does it so well. And he pretty much is like, do this, do that. You're telling me to put my finger down. You're telling me to, like, do all this stuff that I don't want to do. I want to be who I want to be. So I'm going to let out the crow, which is so cool. And it goes into this full rock. Like, it's so cool. It's so cool. Like, when it finally happens, I love it. It's my favorite song in the album, I'd say, The Mockingbird and the Crow. If you have not listened to this, seen the music video, I'll leave a link down in the description below. I'll try to leave a link for all of these, hopefully, maybe, if I remember. Alright, so now, fully going on to the rock side of the album, we got Sold Out. Still the same old redneck fuck, don't give a damn, ain't afraid. This was the first song that he released of the album, and I gotta say, it's a pretty big banger. It kind of like was the first song where Hardy showed who he truly is, who his rock side is to him. So he's had songs like Boots and all that, but this song kind of like shows that more. He's got like that screaming in it, which is really cool. Next song is Jack. I can make you famous by the way my name is. This was the second rock song that he released, And it kind of demonstrated it even more. Like, he went hard on this song. He starts out kind of slow, and then all of a sudden he goes full on. It's crazy. I love it. Next song is Truck Bed. I think that he's pushing this out as one of his singles, possibly. But it's a pretty simple song. But where it gets like good is like in probably that second half of the album. He pretty much goes like, I woke up on the wrong side of... He starts screaming everything. It's really cool. Plus, he makes a reference to another one of his songs, Boots, which I really love. Like, he goes, I wish or at least I took my boots off this time. Like, it is so cool. Next is 3006. Which, this is where he starts getting even harder. Like, as you go down the list, he goes harder until the Redneck song, which I'll talk about that. But holy crap. Basically he's saying like, this girl, she took my gun and she doesn't know I got another one right under my bed, which is so cool. I love this song so much. I have it on repeat all the time, but it's such a banger. And then I Ain't in the Country No More. This one was kind of interesting. He kind of had like a little squeal in it, which was really cool. I've never heard Hardy do that before, so it was really cool to hear. But this one, I would say, goes for a more alternative kind of vibe to it than a rock or country vibe, which is kind of cool. I like it. It's definitely not one of my favorite songs in the album. Well, this whole album is like my favorite, honestly, but it's a really cool song. He's basically saying like, this is like his first time being in the city. He's never seen anything like this. He's never like gave a guy money and saw him like all of a sudden just spend it on some, beer in the paper sack, or I forget what he says in the song, but yeah, it's kind of cool. Next song. Oh my gosh. If you guys have not seen the reaction to if you guys have not seen the reactions to this song, Radio Song, I dare you to go look them up. I will. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Radio Song featuring Jeremy McKinnon. If you do not know who Jeremy McKinnon is, he is the guy from A Day to Remember. If you don't know who A Day to Remember is, I recommend you look at them. They're a pretty cool rock band, I'd say, in modern times. But this song, it's not really a statement as far as what I've heard Hardy say. It's more of just trying to poke fun at the music industry. So he starts off by being the narrator of someone saying like, okay, we need to make a song. It needs to be 3 minutes, no more. And we need to put a girl, we need to put a truck. And he actually comes out with a banger song on there. Like, seriously, this could actually be on the radio. And then Jeremy McKinnon goes in and he goes, this ain't no radio song. And it's so cool. It's honestly so cool. It works so good too. Like, I have this on repeat all the time. I didn't think I would, because he goes hard on here. He is screaming, Jeremy McKinnon and Hardy, really. But it works out really good. Next is Kill Shit Till I Die. Kill shit till Now, holy crap, this song is amazing. Like, I gotta say, all these songs are amazing, but this one, Hardy is going as hard as he can on this song. And he's basically saying, like, if the world ever comes close to an end, like, I have my gun, I'm ready for anything. I am ready for anything. And I'm gonna kill shit till I die. He's basically saying, like, he'll hunt, he will, whatever he needs to do. Which is really cool. Now the last song on the album, the Redneck song. So, I have my thoughts on this song. It's not a bad song, but I don't think it belongs on the rock side. It feels like a Sailor song if you listen to it, He's like, yo ho ho, which kind of sounds like something that you hear a pirate say, right? Like a sailor song. And it's so funny, but yeah, it's really cool. I like it. It's still a really good song, but doesn't belong on the rock side of the album. You tell me in the comments below. That is my review for the album. On the rating scale, honestly, I'm going to put it above Morgan Wallen's album, which I don't know how you guys feel about that. I feel pretty confident that I like it more than Morgan Wallen's album, just because Morgan Wallen's album had some filler content in there. This album didn't really. The closest I got to filler content was Truck Bed, but it still was a banger, especially towards the end. But yeah, I honestly think I would put this album above Morgan's, and I would give this album a solid 4.9 out of 5. It didn't really have any loose ends. The songwriting was perfect. The only thing that I would ask for is more solo rights for Hardy. Honestly, that's all I would ask. Also putting the Redneck song on the countryside. But that's pretty much it. Let me know your thoughts on this album, because it truly was a banger of an album. I've never heard anything like this before. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys will subscribe for more content, and I will see you guys later. Bye.